Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you, your steadfast advocate for health, rolling back the curtain on what's really going on with medicine here. I'm the only one talking about this. Well, that's not true. Dr. Wallach and myself are the only ones talking about this. The medical system doesn't need to be tweaked. It doesn't need to be upregulated or downregulated. You don't need to give more people more access to medical insurance. Make it mandatory. The system needs to be abandoned. We need to bring a different system into play because the one that we've got ain't working. The one that we've got is based on an old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, dangerous, and just incorrect supposition, incorrect medical philosophy. It's called allopathic reductionism. And allopathic reductionism is juvenile, and it does not work. It does not apply. Allopathic reductionism does not apply with chronic disease. It does not. The MDs will tell you that they need to do more research to bring new drugs to the market, but they do not. They don't need to bring new drugs to the market. They need to stop working. They need to quit. They need to stop practicing general practice medicine. If they really want to help people, then they should, specialize in surgery, join the military, do military field medicine, sew up blown off legs, for goodness sake. That's where you can really make a difference. Go to Biafra and help the children with cleft palate. Oh, by the way, all those ads that you see, and they start rolling this stuff out around the holidays now. Oh, help the poor children, with the March of Dimes. Help them with this donation and that donation. Let's send more surgeons to Africa so we can do more surgical procedures on all these kids with cleft palate so that we can help them have a normal life. Well, that's a good idea to help kids, but if you took as much money as you spent on 100 surgical procedures or 1,000 surgical procedures and gave it to the communities for nutrition, prenatal and natal nutrition, there wouldn't be any cleft palates. You could help 1 million kids not get the illness, or you can do surgical procedures on 1,000. You choose which is a better investment of time and money. But you see, this is how the MDs think, because it's all reductionism all the time. It's all reductionism all the time, and from their particularly jaded, from their particularly arrogant, hubris-filled point of view, it's their way or the highway. So, those naturopaths can all go where, because they're not real doctors. They don't practice real medicine. Oh, no, I'm a medical doctor, and I've never once in my entire career have I recommended anybody go to see one of those chiropractors. Oh, no, I recommend everybody to the orthopedic doctor. Oh, I'm your orthopedic doctor. Oh, what's that you say? You have a problem with your left foot? Well, huff and puff, huff and puff. I'm sorry, but I'm a right foot doctor. That's what I am. I can only help you with your right foot. You're going to have to go to the left foot doctor, the left foot specialist, because they know all about the left foot. Oh, I only know about the right foot. And by the way, that'll be $100 for talking to me for 60 seconds. This is what we get. This is what we get, and we have no recourse. And, I just don't get it, folks. I don't get it, man. And I say this over and over again. I'm going to keep beating this dog until the cows come home, and I don't think there are any cows around here, so it's going to be a long time. What's it going to take? How many millions of people have to die? How many more people have to suffer before we fire the MD? The MD will tell you, oh, you need to exercise. That's what you need to do. You need to exercise in order to be healthy, even though the Journal of the American Medical Association published a study that said whenever you jump on a treadmill, your risk of a heart attack goes up something like 600%. Yeah. You wouldn't drive your automobile at 100 miles an hour. You wouldn't drive it at all, let alone at 100 miles an hour, if it was down 3 quarts of oil. You wouldn't do that because you'd burn the engine up. But you have no problem jumping on a treadmill without taking any nutrition into your body whatsoever. One of the worst things that anybody can do is exercise. One of the worst things that anybody can do is exercise without proper nutrition. Because when you exercise, you burn through your body's nutrient reserves. Your body breaks tissue down during exercise and builds tissue up post-exercise, but it needs nutrients to build tissue up. The nutrients ain't in your food. So the more you exercise, the more weak your body becomes internally, and then your heart enlarges, and then your valves stop working, and then you die. 400,000 people a year. This is from the Center for Disease Control, by the way. 400,000 people a year are affected, die from cardiac events directly related to exercise each year. Nearly 500,000 people die from heart conditions which are a direct result of exercise a year. That's more people than die in automobile accidents a year in the United States. And where's the outrage? You see new gyms popping up all the time, and you see Dr. Oz getting on the treadmill and encouraging you to exercise more, and you have the women who are running for breast cancer and telling you, well, one of the things you need to do to prevent breast cancer is get on the treadmill. It's nonsense. It's exactly the wrong thing to do. It's the opposite of what you should be doing. But because the MD tells you to do it, you bend over and do it. Oh, yeah, give it to me again, doc. Come on. Because we don't know any better. And we're all embedded deeply in the myth that the MD knows everything about everything, when in point of fact they only know a little bit about something. Surgery, they're pretty good at that. They can tell you what's the best scalpel. They can tell you what's the best suture material. If they're on their game, they can tell you the best anesthesia cocktails. If they're on their game, they can dial in the dialysis treatment so you don't feel like crap, like Sharon's friend. If they're on their game. That's their domain. This is what they're good at. This is the only thing they should be legally allowed to do, but because they monopolize the marketplace, they do whatever the heck they want to do, and we let them. You know, so when our blood pressure turns into heart disease, and the heart disease turns into asthma, and the asthma was preceded by eczema, when half of our life has been compromised by bad health, as our health gets worse and worse and worse every year, instead of writing a letter to the medical insurance office and saying, look, I've been paying you these premiums my entire life to give me access to medical care when I need it, and I finally did need it, and the medical care that I got didn't work. As a matter of fact, while I've been using this medical care, I'm getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I want a refund. Instead of writing a letter to the State Department of Medicine saying, listen, I've been a faithful patient of my medical doctor for 30 years, and while I've been a faithful patient of my medical doctor, my health has gone to hell in a handbasket. I want answers. Why am I getting worse? I want an investigation into the efficacy of MD-directed pharmacological treatment for chronic disease, and I want it right now, or I'm not voting for you. I want an immediate congressional inquiry. We don't do that. What we do is write another check for a medical insurance premium. And then when we die, our Longevity Nation's headed to Cancun next week. Longevity Nation's headed to Cancun for a little R&R, a little networking, a little insider exposure. My recommendations, 1 part tequila, 1 part cherry mints, 1 part orange juice, 1 part cranberry juice. That's a Team Glidden sunrise right there. Good luck, bon voyage to everybody in Team Glidden, everybody in Longevity Nation. Hope you have a fantastic time in Mexico. Right now, let's go to St. Louis and talk with Claudia about nerve damage in the feet. Hey, Claudia, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thank you. I was calling because I have nerve damage in both feet and toes, neuropathy. I'm a diabetic.
Well, I think the real reason that you've got all these things is because you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and really you should have been a Red Sox fan. I think that's the problem. You just
Actually, I'm not in the sport, so I'm not a Red Sox fan.
Oh, Claudia. Is it type 1 or type 2 diabetes?
Type 2.
How long have you had it?
Since my mid-50s. I'm 62 now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you know, your medical doctor will tell you that it's genetic, and they're wrong. My colleague, Dr. Wallach, wrote an entire book about this. As a matter of fact, the book was commissioned and paid for by Creflo Dollar, of all people, famous evangelist in Atlanta, Creflo Dollar. Creflo's daughter was dying from asthma that was unresponsive to conventional treatment. Creflo called Dr. Wallach up, said, "Doc, what do I do for my daughter?" Dr. Wallach said, "Creflo, your daughter needs to stop eating these foods. She needs to start eating these foods, and she needs to take these nutritional supplements every day." She did. Was released from the hospital in about a week, and within 3 months, the asthma was completely gone. It was gone. And Creflo was so beholden to Doc for saving his daughter's life that they started a conversation, and Dr. Wallach told him about his point of view of the ill health of African Americans. Now, African Americans do have higher rates of sugar diabetes. They do have higher rates of heart disease. They do have worse health than any other demographic, any other race in the United States. And MDs will tell you it's because of some mysterious black gene that they haven't yet discovered. It's got nothing to do with genetics. It has everything to do with what African Americans as a culture eat and what they don't eat, right? The biggest culprit here, Claudia, is fried food. I mean, fried food is a big bad voodoo daddy. There are actually 10 foods that we recommend everybody stop eating. Now, fried food is one of them. So there are 10 foods that you need to clean up from your diet. And you need to give your body nutritional support so that it can optimize its blood sugar, it can optimize its nerve function. And are you taking insulin for this? What are you taking for this?
I'm not taking anything. I refuse to take medication for it.
Okay. Well, see what happens.
I was reduced to longevity.
Yeah, good girl, right? So let me just give you a heads up as to what happens here. The problem with type 2 diabetes is that there's something called insulin resistance. So sugar, by the way, is a friend of your body. Sugar is the gasoline of the body. Your body couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Sugar is one of the best things ever invented. It's the gasoline of your body. The problem with sugar is your body needs nutrients in order to metabolize and process sugar. So if it runs out of the nutrients necessary to metabolize sugar, even normal amounts of sugar will build up in the blood. And when sugar builds up in the blood, your body creates insulin. And then insulin tries to push the sugar into the cell, but it can't do it because the body is nutritionally deficient. So the body makes more insulin and makes more insulin and makes more insulin and makes more insulin. It's the presence of super-duper amounts of insulin in the blood which cause nerve damage. It's the presence of super-duper amounts of insulin in the blood that cause your toes to fall off and your feet to fall off, and the medical doctors to cut your toes and your feet and your fingers and your hands and your arms and your legs off because of gangrene and poor circulation. It's not the blood sugar that's doing it. It's the insulin that's doing it. Long story short, all of this is happening not because you have a bad gene, Claudia, but because you have a bad doctor. You need to give your body the nutrients that it needs. Now, we're coming up against a hard break, so stick around with me through the commercial, and when we come back, I'll dial this in for you. Claudia, even though you live in St. Louis and I'm a Red Sox fan. Stick around, folks. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, back after these messages. Well, if you're down there in old Cancun and you want to stay up late, you can also try the Duffy Dash. 1 part coffee, a little cocoa jevity, a little Cal Toddy, and some Kahlua. Gotta love creativity. Gotta love how Longevity Nation thinks. We're back with Claudia in St. Louis talking about type 2 diabetes. Claudia, are you still with me?
I still am.
All right. How much do you weigh, young lady?
160.
All right. So here's what I would do for you, if I were you, for 90 days. To get on the other side of this. Now, do you measure your blood sugars a couple times a day?
I'm supposed to only do it once.
All right. So keep doing it. Yeah. So what I'd like you to do is once you start this program, right, is measure it once a day and write at the same time every day.
Okay.
And write down the blood sugar number on a piece of paper.
Right.
I want you to keep a running list. Some people just, they let the computer put it into the computer memory, right? But I want you to make a running list and put it on the fridge or someplace. You can look at it every day, because what we want to see, certainly within 8 weeks, within 2 months, is a slow and steady coming down of the blood sugar numbers, all right? But also, Claudia, this isn't just a blood sugar treatment. This is Claudia from St. Louis treatment, and so into the bargain, as you move forward, you want to look to see how you feel. Mood,
right.
Energy, sleep, all that good stuff, right? So just be mindful, and life is good. Write those numbers down, and we'll be able to keep an objective data points as well. All right, so the recommendation, Claudia, would be 1 healthy blood sugar pack. 1 healthy blood sugar pack. 3 bottles of selenium. And 1
for a month.
Yeah, and 1 bottle of Sweeties. Yep, 1 healthy blood sugar pack, 3 selenium, and 1 Sweeties.
Okay.
That's what I want you to do for 1 month, every month, for 3 months, right? 3 months is, 3 months. Now, we recommend people start our stuff and try our stuff for 90 days before they judge it one way or the other. Now, I've seen blood sugar numbers plummet in 14 days. I've seen this program work rapidly, but it can also take its sweet time. Certainly within 90 days, you're going to see something noticeable, measurable, and remarkable improve. And once we experience something getting better, remarkably, then we just maintain the program, because we know it's only a matter of time until it kicks into full gear, and you start to improve rapidly. So do that program.
Well, I've already started the blood sugar pack, and my blood sugar is going down when I eat correctly.
All right.
So
well, then what?
That's something I got to do. Stay away from the 10 bad foods.
That's right.
With the fried food.
That's right. Stay away from the 10 bad foods. And the addition of 1 extra bottle of Sweeties and selenium should really fine-tune this and make it work much quicker and faster and better. Now,
okay, 2 Sweeties and 3 bottles of the ultimate selenium.
Yeah, well, the Sweeties, you're already going to get 1 Sweeties in the healthy blood sugar pack. Just get 1 extra bottle, right? Okay. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And the biggest thing to understand, Claudia, is that healing is a process. It's not an event, right? It's something that unfolds over time. And so it's just like watching a flower grow, really. You want to see change and growth and change and growth and change and growth. And as long as that's happening, then you just need to ride that horse until your blood sugars are completely normal. All right, Claudia, thank you. I appreciate your patience and your trust. There goes Claudia from St. Louis. Oh, and did I mention, let's go Red Sox. Let's go up to Edmonton in Canada, up there in the great province of Alberta, and see what Aaron's doing. Hey, Aaron, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
What's happening, Aaron? How are you, man?
Not much, my brother. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Hey, never mind. Has it started snowing up there yet? What's the deal?
I wish it was snowing. Unfortunately, with HARP and everything else destroying the weather, we're not getting much rain.
Oh, really? Not much rain. Now, is that unusual? Is that unusual for Edmonton?
Yeah. Well, for me, yeah. Being from Florida and all, I would I wish I could get some snow here.
Well, it's only a matter of time, buddy. I mean, it's probably going to start snowing in a couple of hours, for goodness sake. You're all the way up there in Edmonton. Tell me, what are you doing up there? Are you working in the gas fields?
No, I'm actually working in the hospital field.
Oh, my goodness. What do you do?
Well, I'm a housekeeper, environmental services. It's a terrible job, but hey, at least I get to try to wake people up in regards to their health.
All right. Well, listen. Oh, well, I get it. And, everybody gets kind of locked into jobs that they hate, and that's, the Canadian way, right? That's the American way. So don't feel bad about that, because everybody's in that boat. at one time in their
right.
life. I mean, most people are in that boat their entire life, right?
That's right. That's
so
true.
my advice to you, Aaron, if you choose to accept it, is lean on your upline in longevity. Call longevity up and find the person in your upline who's building the business the quickest, and call them up and say, look, teach me how to do this.
The problem is, Dr. Glidden, I signed up with InfoWars, okay? So I signed up with somebody in Texas, okay? So I'm kind of a little distanced from my upline.
But it doesn't matter. No, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I know that you think it is, but it's not, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. Because there is somebody in your upline, somewhere, might be 5 levels, might be 7 levels, might be somewhere, there is somebody who is an excellent, awesome business builder, and they are looking for you. So you need to call longevity up and say, hey, I'm Aaron from Edmonton. Here's my ID number. I want you to tell me who in my upline is building their business effectively. Give me their name and their phone number, and then you call them up and say, hey, my name's Aaron. I'm in Edmonton, and I want to make $1 million with longevity.
Yes, I do. But I'm trying to help. I thought if I'm working in a hospital, maybe I'm going to help people. It's probably one of the best ways to help people because I'm already there when people are sick, when people are wanting answers, when people are wanting help. The unfortunate thing is some of the people I've talked to, because their income is low and because it does cost money to take care of your health, unfortunately I've kind of hit a wall in regards to some of the people because, it's about spending money to take care of yourself. It's not free.
I've got good news for you. Well, I've got really good news for you. There ain't no recession in Edmonton.
No, you're right about that.
I'm right
You're
about
right about that. But the people
No, let me finish. You're fishing in the wrong pool, buddy. You're fishing in the wrong pool. So you need to stop pitching this to the people at your work, and you need to start pitching this to people who live in Edmonton. I've got people in Edmonton who are movers and shakers, and, they're spreading this word far and wide. So you're just fishing in the wrong pool, man. I'm telling you, there's people in Edmonton, there's people in the province of Alberta who have money to burn and who are suffering needlessly. Now,
so
listen.
What pool do I go to?
Well, that's where you need to lean on your upline.
Okay.
As God is my witness, if you lean on your upline, there are ways to show this message to people to make them run away from you. And there are ways to show this to people that attract them to you.
I have heard about that, yes.
And your upline will help to dial that in for you. And this is how we do it. You don't have to do it on your own, man. It's recommended that you don't do it on your own. Okay. It's recommended that you lean on your upline for help. And I'm telling you, man, there's someone in your upline who is anxiously waiting for you to call them because they're looking for a hungry business builder in your neck of the woods. So
I'm really hungry, I can tell you that.
Take a big bite out of that caribou and chew it, baby.
Well, just one thing I wanted to say before I wanted to ask you about why I'm calling. Have you heard about holographic blood?
No.
Okay. There's a doctor, not a regular doctor. There's a holistic doctor. His name is Dr. Harvey Bigelson, and he discovered holographic or living blood. And
so it's live blood cell analysis. Is that what you're talking about? Dark field microscopy?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, I know a lot about dark field microscopy.
Okay, it's amazing. I just thought I'd bring it up. Because there's other people listening.
Well, in a perfect world, right, there would be research and attention and money given to dark field microscopy. But tell you what, dark field microscopy is so far outside of the conventional way of thinking. It is so far outside of the conventional way of thinking. It's 100 years ahead of its time. It's 100 years ahead of its time. So dark field microscopy is not going to percolate into popular culture for at least 100 years because that's how far outside of the box it is. I mean, compared to what we do, we're mainstream. That's how outside of the box dark field microscopy is. Now, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of merit to it. But I'm telling you, man, it is so far ahead of its time. It's going to be a long time before those chickens come home. Well,
like the great Bruce Lee said, let your mind be like water.
Well, there you go.
And so our minds have to all be like water.
Well, in a perfect world, that would be the truth, but we're swimming upstream like the salmon on the way home to Edmonton. So how can I help you, Aaron? I've got 2 minutes.
I'm so sorry about that. The reason I'm calling is my wife has osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle bone disease, and I'm wanting to know what she can take to help her disability and help her bones get stronger if possible.
What's her current body weight?
Her body's weight is around 65 pounds.
65 stone or 65 kilograms or 65 pounds?
65 pounds.
65 pounds?
Yes.
She must be
She's about 3 feet tall.
She's 6 feet tall and 65 pounds.
No. no. She's 65 pounds.
Yeah.
And she's about 3 feet tall.
Wow. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
The recommendation would be per month.
Okay.
One. Is there pain present? Is pain a factor here or not so much? Joint pain?
Pain is a factor, yes.
All right. So one healthy bone and joint pack.
Bone and joint.
One healthy bone and joint pack.
Okay.
One bottle of plant-derived minerals.
Plant-derived minerals.
Yep. 2 bottles of ultimate selenium. 2 bottles of ultimate selenium.
Okay.
And that's it. Plus, she must eliminate the 10 bad foods, and I don't even want her to look at soda pop. Zero tolerance.
No, we eat organic and definitely don't do that.
All right, good.
What about osteo? Okay.
It's in the healthy bone and joint pack.
Okay.
So now at 65 pounds, that's all that she's going to need. And so I want her to take all those supplements every day for 3 weeks, and then I want you to call me back with a report, and I'll tell you how to tweak it. Okay? So that's 1 healthy start pack, 1 healthy bone and joint pack, 1 bottle of plant minerals, 2 bottles of selenium, and that's it. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Call me back in 3 weeks with a report. Keep up the good work, Aaron. Edmonton needs you. Going to Georgia to talk to Dolores when we come back. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Peter Glidden. By the way, if you're going to Cancun, come up with your own drink and call us on the radio show and talk about it. Let's have a little bit of fun. Tomorrow and Friday, where we'll be entertaining calls with alcoholic drink recipes for those in Longevity Nation heading to Cancun. Let's finish out today's show with Dolores from Georgia. Hey, Dolores, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
How are you?
I'm good, Dolores. What's going on and how can I help?
Okay. We have a little girl in our area that has neurotic, I want to spell it, N-E-P-H, that's nephrotic. NEPHROTIC syndrome.
Yeah.
So the doctor had put her on prednisone for 6 weeks, took her off of prednisone for 6 weeks. Her kidneys relapsed. And because of the relapsing, she's swelling all over. Now they want to put her on high blood pressure medication. She's only 6.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? So, and, you know, this is tantamount. This really underlines quite nicely this ties in almost too perfectly to what I was talking about at the very beginning of the show today in the first hour, that, you know, the MD is trained in a particular philosophical understanding of the human body, and it's incorrect and wrong. So when they're up against nephrotic syndrome, which is, by the way, a kidney illness, folks, it's a kidney illness, they don't try to get to the root of what's causing it. They just dump anti-inflammatory medication into the system in boatloads, prednisone. For goodness sake, if you took anti-inflammatories and prednisone away from medical doctors and antibiotics, they'd have nothing to do. They'd all be out of a job because that's what they throw at everything. Prednisone, cortisone, prednisone, cortisone, prednisone, cortisone. That's all that they do, plus an antibiotic here and an antibiotic there. Even if they don't have evidence that there's a frank infection present. I can't tell you how many patients I've seen who've been to the MD, and the MD just throws an antibiotic at it without any real evidence that there's an infection present. And bronchitis is the most famous. Bronchitis is not caused by a bacterial infection, and MDs throw antibiotics all the time, which is why there's MRSA now. You know, antibiotic-resistant germs. It's because of MD incompetence. But, so, right? I mean, throwing prednisone at this condition is like painting over the mold in the basement. You just paint over it. You're not going to see it for a week because the paint's there covering it up, but the mold is still there, and it's only a matter of time until the mold eats through the paint and gets worse. Well, guess what's happened? The nephrotic syndrome has gotten worse because the prednisone didn't get to the root cause of it. It's an archaic, old-fashioned, juvenile, and dangerous treatment. And this kid's parents need to fire their MD because that's just a stupid treatment for this condition, as God is my witness. But, you know, stupid is as stupid does, and when you own the bus, when you own the theater, you can do whatever you want and get away with it, and that's what the MDs do. Now, you know, this child, in order to support and promote the structure and function of her body and give her a little extra kidney help, needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods, Dolores. She needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods immediately. And to give her body a nutritional chance, the recommendation would be 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules per month, and 1 bottle of Cherry Mints, 1 bottle of Cherry Mints per month. That's a really good program for this child. Now, the Ultimate Daily capsules are pretty big, and it might be too big for her to swallow. So you want to go to CVS and get a pill cutter, and you can cut those Ultimate Daily capsules in half, or get a mortar and pestle and you can grind them up and put them into applesauce, right? Put them into applesauce, whatever. Those might be a little too big to go down the hatch. What I like to do with the Ultimate Daily capsules is stick them in the freezer because when you swallow them frozen, they slip right down the old esophagus and life is good. So there's a lot of workarounds for that, but that's the recommendation. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. The anti-aging healthy start pack, selenium, plant-derived minerals, and Ultimate Daily capsules for 90 days. Have her commit to this program for 90 days. Keep her fingers crossed and see what happens. I think she's going to love how she feels, and her parents are really going to love how she feels, but really all of this is built upon the simple foundation that she must fire her MD now. Thanks, Dolores. I appreciate everything you're doing down there in Georgia. Now go out there and show what we're doing to somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. God willing, I'm back in the saddle tomorrow. See you then.